Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Full Steam Ahead. I am one of your hosts, Cantu, with Zoe and Steban on the other side. How's everybody doing? I know we haven't recorded in a while, right? But how's everybody doing?
Doing all right. We still hanging in there. It's a little weird that we don't got nothing to look forward to watching tomorrow, but
I'd say it's a little different. Like not even a little, it's a lot different. I've seen people on Astros
yeah.
Twitter right now posting the last time the Astros made the postseason to like now not being in the postseason. So what 2016
Yeah.
to all the way over here. A lot of differences. That's what 9, almost 10 years. The Astros have
Yeah, I
been
think
in
we
the
were
postseason.
graduating high school that,
Yeah, for
during that
2016.
time.
Yeah, going to college and
Yeah.
now look at us. We have kids, jobs, graduated college.
And the tech was Brock Osweiler at the time when the Astros didn't go.
What was the
Yeah,
number one song?
the trade, it had to be Fetty Wap or some shit like that.
No,
Oh, number
I'd
one
go.
song
I'd
in
go Goosebumps.
2016?
Eh, You do what you said?
I'd say Goosebumps. Travis
I
Scott.
can see that. Yeah, Travis Scott. It was a 1738 song right there. That one. I would
It was
say.
I think it was the One Dance by Drake.
Oh,
That was
okay, I can see that.
that Views. I think that was an
Yeah,
album, correct?
yeah. And when he's on
Yeah.
Toronto, right? Off the
On
Space
the
Needle,
knee.
whatever. Yeah.
hmm
Okay. I can see that.
A&M had a
That
4-0
been a
record
while.
too, and U of H.
Another
There you
another
go.
wild, also another wild fantasy weekend too.
Let's not even talk
Probably.
about that.
Probably. But so I guess that's the deal. I guess if like in order for A&M and UH to go forward, no, you got to sacrifice an actual postseason, thing. But no, yeah, but we have a lot to cover. We're gonna be doing the recap of the season, Astros award winners, and you know, will they actually make the postseason again? What needs they have, contract money talks, and all that good stuff. But so before we get going, can you tell us where they can hear us?
Oh, I love it. Change it up a little bit, Stebby. I know you. I would like to throw the alley to you, but I don't know. You might miss the dunk on this one. But I know Angel had
Yeah,
mentioned the icons on the side. Yeah, I don't know what's up with these icons. I'm gonna.
yeah.
That's why it's
And
the
I gotta step
last
up this game.
game of the
Yeah,
2025 season.
it's
But
injured too.
yeah, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, FSA Full Steam Ahead on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. We're at Full Steam Ahead there. Of course, our YouTube channel. If you're looking at us live on YouTube, or majority of our audience is coming from Twitter, please make sure you go to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We'll see what we can do with some content this season. It's it's gonna be an interesting off season for us too, Angel. I'll talk to you
Yeah.
about that here in just a second. Let's just talk about the audio part real quick, where you can find our podcast on Apple and Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. We are there. Like, rate, subscribe, give us feedback, hit them 5 stars too as well. But going back to you, Angel, I mean, this is our first year not covering the postseason for the Houston
Yeah.
Astros, and yeah, it
Well
feels a little
needed
different.
break.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
well needed break. I will say that. I will say that.
I'm sure the Astros, honestly, I know they want to play postseason baseball, but I'm sure they kind of sign a relief too that they get to enjoy, you know, an off season, a full off season with their families and loved ones and all that good stuff. But again, I think it's kind of mixed feelings, because I think everybody's goal in the beginning of seasons to win a World Series and to go deep, make a deep playoff run. But these guys also, especially this season, a lot of, I think just blessed to get out the season healthy with all the injuries that, tormented the Astros.
Yeah, it kind of sucks, you know what I mean? Because it's like what 8 seasons of being consecutively in the postseason. All of a sudden, like you break that streak, which is kind of like I wouldn't take that lightly, especially if I'm a part of that streak. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It would hurt me a little bit different because I would like to keep that streak going if I was an Astros player because
of course.
you're just you're at the bottom of the streak winners for the postseason. You know, you have the Braves 14 seasons,
Yeah,
Dodgers 13 seasons, Yankees 13 seasons, and the Astros are right there at 8. You know what I mean? It would have been
Double
nice if they would
digit.
have kept it going and
yeah,
maybe tied one of the guys or caught up because I mean, at the end of the day, they're just gonna write this Astros team off like a fluke because they didn't really get up to standard as the rest of the guys. You know what I mean? Every time you're gonna hear somebody talk about the Astros, they're just gonna talk about cheating. They're not even gonna give them their flowers for all the stuff they came through and accomplished in these years, and pretty much being dominant and making all these baseball fans grow and grow more to have hatred towards this team.
Yeah, I
Yeah, you
mean,
know,
real quick, Angel. I mean, just to add on to that, a lot of players, and I would say even Astro fans, are accustomed to seeing the Astros in the postseason every single season. It's like almost like an annual meetup for like
Yeah.
fans, the Astros, I mean, everybody, the city of Houston. They're just so accustomed to seeing the Astros at Dyken Park, Minute Maid Park, whatever you like to call that um, ballpark in downtown Houston, playing October baseball, where it matters for the ALDS, the ALCS, the World Series, of course, being the top goal.
Yeah.
And we've seen 2023, I wouldn't say was the starting of the fall for the Astros because honestly, that 23 season, the Astros should have taken care of business against the Texas Rangers with them 2 games at
Yeah.
Minute Maid Park at the time. And then obviously that World Series, I honestly, being truthful here, I think the Astros would have won the World Series against the Diamondbacks. But fast forwarding to that next season at 24, that wild card series against the Detroit Tigers, when you were the number 3 seed and they didn't get nothing done. And then obviously this season, um, of course, you're battling injuries. I mean, that was really the whole summary of this 25 season for the Astros. But I mean, you had an 8-game lead in the AL West and you just fell, bottom of the floor at the end of the season. We talked about it before this season even had started. Before Steban was on the pod, Angel, we talked about it. More than likely in September, you're going to see this all over again from last 2 seasons of who's going to win the division by 1 game, 2 game, 3 games, or whatever, like whatever series it's going to be. And this season, I mean, the Mariners did it.
One thing
yeah, and
too is
honestly,
that one thing
go
too
ahead.
is that I feel like the Astros, kind of fumbled their own opportunity. You had such a big lead, and then stuff hits the fan, people get injured, and you kind of play with what you have instead of just jump into the opportunity of just start calling up prospects and just trying them. You know what I mean? What is it gonna hurt to try to call a guy up and see if it works? You see every team do it. A lot of teams do it in baseball. You see people do it in NFL. You know what I mean? That you get these nobodies that come up as a RB4 from the practice squad, and all of a sudden they're freaking RB1s
Woody
doing all kinds
Marks.
there's all kinds of crazy. So you think about it, it's like, why didn't the Astros do this sooner? Why did they wait till last minute to call up Zach Cole or stuff like that? You know what I mean?
I mean, I can see that, but I think it's just more of a September caught up type of thing for Zyko. But I can see what a spark could be. And honestly, I think for the Astros, this just means a lot more for the fans not being able to make the playoffs. Houston's a baseball city ever since I would say what 2016, 2015 for sure when they started going to the playoffs more consistently. And everywhere you step out, you're guaranteed to see an Eastern Astros, shirt, jersey, anywhere you go. So I think it hurts I'm sure it hurts the Astros not making it to the playoffs, but it hurts the fans even more. And we do have this quote right here. Not to be dramatic, but I cry when they find out the Astros will make the playoffs for sure. So Mendoza's going through it right now. So, yeah, I mean, that kind of hurts, but at the end of the day, like all good things come to an end. That's the name of the episode, right? But I think on paper, the Astros were the team to beat. They had a really great team, and it's just, a run ended.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on this one's full steam done. We'll answer that at the end of the show. Of course, we got to talk about it ourselves because I remember last season, Angel and I, we took that month off for obviously the postseason, World Series, all that good stuff. So we'll address that at the end of the show. Of course, us guys too. We'll talk about it to figure out what our schedules look like and will you guys be covering the playoffs, Anthony Morris? Obviously, we will not be because we are based in Houston, Texas. The Houston Nationals are not in the postseason. But just to add on to Angel, what he was talking about with the Astros window, and of course, everybody was saying this team is inevitable, and now you really don't see it now. I mean, I don't think a lot of teams now are scared of the Houston Astros how they were kind of before that lineup in 2019, the pitching staff that they developed from them years from 22 and 23. It's kind of like now they're easy to hit on. I wouldn't say easy, but they're like more accessible than they were from the past. But like you were saying, Angel, with the postseason success that this team had from 2017 to 24, this from the Astros were 59 and 40, 596 winning percentage in their 99 postseason games, giving them the most postseason games and wins in the majors in that span. Among AL clubs, the Yankees at 29-29 have the second most postseason wins in that span. So it just shows you right there how dominant that 8 seasons was for the
Yeah.
Houston Astros. And of course, you're going to have fans and, other critics out there that talk about the cheating scandal and, of course, the 2017 through 2019 moments right there. Of course, you're going to have your opinions on that, but you can't take away what the Astros did through them seasons. I mean, you would have liked to see what Steban had mentioned, like them other teams that had double-digit consecutive seasons in the postseason. But just the injury bug, I would say, really hurt this team this season. I mean, health was
Yeah.
a huge reason why the Astros didn't run it back and go to the postseason.
Yeah. We'll talk about that, in a couple of segments. I think literally like in a few minutes. But the Astros did finish with an 87-75 record, tied with the Tigers, who had the final wild card spot. This is why regular season series are important. There is no longer a game 163, which honestly that'd be cool to have. Not gonna lie, just to see one final game, two teams giving it all out. Right, it's always pretty fun. Always great for baseball for views too. But Tigers won the season series 4-2. They swept the Astros in Houston, and the Astros won 2 out of 3 at home. Again, this is like we're talking about right now, first time since 2016 since they missed the playoffs. The Astros also had won the AL West in 2017, except that's for that 2020 series when it was a COVID year. But are we really counting that one? And then I do have a question for the chat. I have a question for you all too. What were you doing the last time the Astros made it to the playoffs in 2016? So, the chat, if anybody want to talk about it.
Yeah, we got
What were
a
you
lot of questions here. Hinge back to the Astros. Anthony wants Kevin's going after what Anthony said. With great questions. The Astros making a push for the polar bear. Interesting. Oh my God, another one. Look at that one. Luno back to the Astros. Y'all are some goons right now. What are they called, Steppy? What are they called?
The full seam gooners.
Full seam late night gooners.
That's what I was doing in 2016. Just a junior year in high school, walking the hallways, just a lonely goon.
Lonely goon. 2016, graduated high school and then busting out of College Station. Yeah, going to my first year of college. I was pretty
UCLA versus A&M game too.
Oh yeah,
I remember I had a front row tickets to that one because it was the Corps Cadet, so that was pretty nice.
Yeah, you had all your hair gone at that time too.
I did. I was bald. Yeah.
Why are you bald? You're ROTC leader.
Yeah, well, we had to be. We had to have a 0 basically and a 1 for a haircut when we were freshmen at A&M. I just basically.
I thought you were part of like the Yale group or something. No.
No. It was the Corps Cadets at A&M. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
The leaders of tomorrow, right there, baby.
Nice.
Leaders of tomorrow. But Anthony did mention.
That's cool. Ready to go to Minute Maid. It's 2016. I'll try to make it on the Astros roster.
And Milby
was a bullpen catcher. Just trying to make it as a bullpen catcher.
Yeah, Stevie, you went to the game with Anthony.
No,
I don't know what Anthony Marr is.
He was trying to apply for Orbit.
I think that was Ant's job.
Man, y'all just slashing the boys tonight, I see.
But anyways, Carlos Correa, after the series finale against Anaheim Angels, Carlos Correa, I want to apologize to the fans in Houston for falling short. It's not what they were accustomed to. They're used to watching playoff baseball, and they look forward to that every single year. It's a beautiful time of the year in Houston. We were not able to accomplish that this year, but we promise our fans in Houston this offseason is going to be one of a lot of hard work. We are all going to get better. Next year will be one to remember. And I like that what he's saying, but it's going to take more than hard work. It's going to take, I think, a little messing around with the whole organization, not just, improvements on selves, but, some people are going to have to go, obviously. Angels are already getting calls on the line on his
and the hotline bling ready already.
The hotline's already calling. He's over here trying to be an agent.
What excellent.
That's Isaac Paredes' his agent right there. I'm sorry, his line's booming right now.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we'll talk a little bit more into the show with that, but yeah, I agree with you. It's going to take not just a lot of hard work from the players. It's going to take a lot coming from the organization themselves. A lot of rearranging, I would think, is going to be put on. A lot of different things are going to be happening, I think, this offseason. This is the offseason that's going to be one of the most um, fluent, that's going to be moves from players to the organization itself. So
I mean,
just stay tuned to that. We'll talk a little bit more about that.
I think it's only right. I mean, you have all these years of things going good, and then you just have this massive drop off drastically with injuries and batting and all kinds of things that didn't go right for the Astros. We can sit here and talk all about it, but once you have stuff like that happen, it's just a good sign. Maybe, hey, let's cut ties with a couple things, or try to look things differently or try different things. You can't always stick to the same routine and expect that routine to always work forever. You're always gonna have to adjust along the way. And it could be big adjustments, or it could be minimal things. It could be from a hitting coach to just one player, or just whatever. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that go to it.
Yeah, or even Darth Vader can make an appearance too.
Yeah.
Maybe that can help as well. But we are getting some more comments. This pod is full of bullies, apparently, to Mr. Kevin Cerna. Richard, if it's the last show of the year, we got to make it a good one. We really appreciate
Of course.
Yeah, I came here because I thought it was a safe space. Anthony, of course, damn, you guys stopped wearing the Astros gear. Angel to the moon.
Esteban.
Nah, my gear's still here. I
I
just
would
put a
too,
jacket on because
Anthony.
it's a little cozy in here.
New hitting coach from Anthony might be the new hitting coach, I can see, maybe. And now he says Mr. Mendoza is a fake fan. Wow.
Yikes! Yikes! A lot of back and forth in the chat.
I wouldn't mind the new hitting coach.
Yeah, well, we could see with that and with what I mean. How can we describe this season? I'm gonna ask y'all that. Yeah, I mean the chat, y'all can even put it on there. One word to describe this 2025 season for the Houston Astros, because there's a lot of ways you can describe this season. Due to injuries, to situational hitting, to defensive errors, base running mistake. I mean, we can go on and on. Management
honestly
decisions. I mean, go ahead, Angel. Start off.
honestly my one word is injuries. I think it was just too much. It's kind of hard to overcome, especially when they're on both sides of the ball, pitching and on your lineup. I think Jordan Alvarez only playing in maybe 40 something games.
I would say a third of the season.
Yeah, literally like 40 something games was tough, especially having that Isaac Paredes, who was on a heater, being out for literally the entire second half, hurt. Spencer Aguirre, I know he didn't come back, as expected, but him being out early on, just a lot of injuries. And then even late, Josh Hader, there were some games that could have been closed out that needed to be closed out, and yet the bullpen couldn't secure the win. So I think it was just injuries all around. I think that was the biggest thing. Honestly, a healthy team, Astros honestly could be the second seed in the postseason, because on the Mariners, that's where they finished off, right? Could honestly be the second seed, battling for the first seed for the season. But again, it just didn't work out like that. I think just to me, the injuries were too much.
I just say it was an obstacle, because no matter what, regardless, the Astros always had something to deal with, to either go around or go through or adjust, and had to, change for either a certain player or certain situations that stuff would happen. And I mean, the tip of the cap of them for trying to not give up, but sometimes things just have to be done, and good things come to an end, like the name of this title.
Yeah, and I mean, Kevin says it perfect. I would love to say that word. That's your one word, by all means. Inconsistent.
That too.
I'd say unbalanced. It's going to be my one word. Reason being, I mean, there was just a lot. I mean, injuries, like Angel had mentioned, hot and cold streaks from this team. Usually this team is a second half team that does really well, and especially that you had I don't know if it was the second easiest schedule remaining in the season after the All-Star break, but you had an easy schedule in the All-Star break in the AL West division at least, and the Astros just couldn't get it done. Injuries, of course, like Angel had mentioned, that was a huge factor of how this season came about. I mean, like I said, there's a situational hitting, runners in scoring position, of course, continues to be a freaking drastic part for the Astros. A lot of bad decisions.
That wasn't one word.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. That's like Charles Barkley saying, "Give me 2 words," and he goes with 4 words. But yeah, bad decisions. I mean, from base running to pitching decisions. I mean, everything just felt like a blunder after the All Star break for this team. Because remember, going into the All Star break, they were in the month of June. They were one of the hottest teams, and they were
Hmm.
first in the American League West. I think over 20 games over 500 that they were upon in first place in the division. And
But there was also a lot of times where they had games and they had stretches where it just felt like this team was unserious.
well, I would say for that part right there, that'd be the end. The sense of urgency just
Yeah.
wasn't there in them last 3, 4 series against the Mariners, against the Angels, against the Athletics. That there was no fire. There was no like yelling and screaming, like coming off the mound after a big strikeout. You just didn't see no passion out there. No, like I said, sense of urgency.
I just feel like it was just a big reality check this year and just missing a lot of key players, losing Bregman, losing Tucker, Clubhouse took a big hit to that, and I feel like they just never really got adjusted. People had to get comfortable coming into their first season with the Astros too, and then it doesn't really help with the lineups getting changed so much that nobody's able to find a consistent spot where they could be comfortable. Because a lot of baseball players are superstitious, and I mean, like Anthony said, we have no dogs in the clubhouse. At the beginning of the first half, there was kind of a missing presence of masculinity, of somebody asserting their dominance in the clubhouse. And as the second half comes back around, looked a little better as a team, but it's just kind of too late, all the injuries and then the inconsistency in some games where it looks like, okay, we want to play for something. And then some games it's like, oh, we gave up. We already lost in the beginning of this game. I don't feel like fighting back. You have at bats that just seemed like they didn't want to be there. They didn't want to be hitting. They just 1, 2, 3 up. First pitch swing, second pitch foul off, third pitch strike out. I'm out to that bat, up to the next guy. And that's how it felt like it was some games. And then some games it felt like, all right, everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to hit. Everybody's on the same page. And then back and down, up and down.
Yeah, but before we get into that, well, let's take on the Astros injury topic. I'm gonna list you all the names that were injured and could have, factored into this game. Again, all the Astros needed was, one more game to be in the playoffs. Win one more and they're in. But you had injuries to, again, Jordan Alvarez, Isaac Paredes, Jake Myers, who was honestly having a great season before the injury, Spencer Rigretti, Jeremy Pena, who was out for a month, Josh Hader, Zach DeZenza, Luis Garcia, who was already gone mid-year, came back, wasn't the same. Lance McCullers batting injuries, Taylor Trammell, left-handed bat, Renault Blanco. Again, Hayden Wozniacki, who was off to a great start too early in the season. Brandon Walter, Jacob Melton, Brendan Rogers, Caleb Orr, Bennett Souza, and I might have been missing someone too. I don't know, right? But or
Victor
like
Caratini on one of them too.
Victor Caratini as well. Again, like these are our guys that could have played valuable innings, valuable at bats, and just weren't there because they were hurt. Did I even say Chas McCormick too? Or no? That's another one right there. He
Yeah,
was hurt.
I mean, was on the
Yeah,
roster, so yeah, of course.
yeah. So it's just I don't know. I just think it was too much. But again, there is situations like where bad base running, or like you said earlier, situational hitting. I think the Astros are still, you're bringing up guys who can play valuable innings, like a lot of like you were letting a lot of rookies, Cam Smith, Walter, but no, they still play valuable innings. It's just not being, like you said, not being consistent. And I think this is a trend we've seen with the Astros, even like last year too. Just those inconsistent at bats or stretches where, like you said, where they're just cold and can't score runs or score one or two and are helping the pitchers out. But I think it starts in the clubhouse. I think, like you were saying, that they're playing with no spark. Well, someone needs to fire that team up, right? Someone needs to say something. Someone needs to, be that person. I think bringing Carlos Correa, I think could have been a little too late, the second half of the season. But I think for next year, I think they have a vocal leader in there. And honestly, again, talking about that clubhouse chemistry is what Framber Valdez did could also affected that chemistry too. Could have just put a little dagger. If it was already, like to the boiling point, that could have been a dagger to kind of like overblow it. But I think it's tough. But I think better seasons are to come for the Astros. They just do have to make a few moves to make sure they have some reinforcements for next year.
One little hot take I wanted to throw out there too. I think that Zach Cole gets AL Rookie of the Year next season because that kid's a dog. The way that he played, like, if he makes the big league roster for sure next season, he could possibly get AL Rookie of the Year. The way that he is unfazed and like the talent is there, definitely. Like, if I'm gonna be honest with you, his defense is way better than Cam Smith. His at bats way better than Cam Smith. And his arm,
small sample size though.
Yeah, it's a small sample size, most definitely, yes. But I think when it comes down to it, I think Zach Cole could be the player that we need. I feel like maybe Cam goes back to an infield role and Cole goes to the outfield.
I'll say that, Angel. I don't know if you want to say it, but I'll say I'm gonna just relax
Go
a
ahead,
little.
go ahead.
I mean, we've been doing this for so many years now, but Zach Cole, small sample size. I do like the kid though. I do like the kid. He shows a lot of promising. The outfield range that he has, very speedster on the base path, a lot of sneaky pop as well in the power and as well in contact. Yeah, swing and miss here and there. I don't think he'll be Rookie of the Year next year. Maybe he does. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I do like to see him be on the roster next season for opening day. And I'm agree with you on that part too, with like the urgency of this team with the little spark here and there. You know, think about it. In the beginning of this opening day of 2025, the Astros announced Cam Smith has made the roster. He's going to start right field. That brought a spark and rejuvenate the clubhouse with with some young energy in there. Fans were excited. I mean, you bring in parents and you saw the video, how that all transpired. I mean, it was a beautiful moment. Then it kind of faded a little bit.
It faded because you struggled. It was struggling.
Yeah, agreed. And that's why my point is the struggles, the slumps that they were going through, in the season. Carlos Correa comes, and because the Astros weren't having a good July, they went ahead and went after Correa, a fan favorite, a leader in the clubhouse. I mean, we could continue on and on about him. That lit a spark a little bit too after the trade deadline. I mean, they did get swept against the Red Sox after the deadline, but after that, they were winning some series. Then that kind of faded a little bit. Next thing you know, like Stephon said, Zach Cole comes, kind of rejuvenated a little bit more with some more young energy, even though they had Cone Gordon, AJ Blueball, all those guys. And you saw them win in Atlanta. You saw them win another series there, and then it kind of fell off. So, I mean, it kind of just kept going like a roller coaster, just going up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Cam Smith in the infield. I just do not see it, Stevie. I love you, but I just he's
already
done a really good.
into.
Honestly, he's done a really good job.
Yeah, but I only say that because his outfield is really terrible. Like
Cam Smith.
Yes, but like whenever balls are hitting him, okay, yes, he's good. But I'm just saying the way that he plays stuff in the gaps, I feel like he lacks that.
That's why he has his whole off season to get better.
Okay, yeah, but I'm just saying, I just feel like he's not the best outfield option.
I gotta get up to
defensively, in my opinion. You're calling me crazy.
Well,
yes, you're calling me crazy. But I just don't see it because the plays that stuff would happen during the season. His IQ just wasn't there as an outfielder. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not disagreeing with you. But you also got to remember too. It's like opening day was the first time he was playing outfield. The entire time. So it's a lot of growing pains too. And he was a rookie, so offensively too. But I'd say next year they ride with Cam Smith next year. I think he earned that spot. He did. He did play pretty good. Now, if we're gonna talk about Zach Cole, again, he might make the opening day roster. Did show a lot of great promise, like Lorenzo said, but it's can he sustain it? That's the thing. Like Cam Smith again showed great promise early, but again, it was like a roller coaster of a season for him too. But I don't know. I don't see Cam Smith in the infield just because it's already stacked. Because right now you got an issue. Right now, what do you do when you stack by Edis too? Because right now you got Carlos Correa is not leaving third base. Jeremy Payne is not leaving shortstop. You got second base open, but he's coming back from a hamstring injury. And I know he has all off season to rest, right? But can he handle second base? And Christian Walker right now, as long as he's in the Astros uniform, he's not leaving first base either.
I think somebody probably gets traded, bro. In my opinion,
yeah, we're gonna get. I'm telling you, we're gonna get into all of this. We're just getting the basics real quick. We're gonna get all to it. I mean, look, Kevin just said it himself. So Stebby looks like a head coach right now. This is funny right here going into off season.
It was like Deion Sanders
right here as a podcast. No, I
shit.
mean, but I honestly think for a infielder that he was
Yes,
going
Mars.
into
Yes, he
playing a
does.
new position, he did a really good job. I'm
Yeah,
not
I
gonna
think
lie.
so.
I'm not gonna take it away from the kid. He did a really good job
Yeah,
in the outfield. I was looking at his fielding. I mean, he has a strong arm and highest in the percentile. I mean, I think it was 88, 70 something with the fielding run value. He had one outs above average. I mean, but he has range. He'll go up there, rob a home run, go into foul territory, slide, or bang against the wall in Dyken Park, and put his body on the line. And I think he's just going to continue getting better. There's just not one we can't judge a book by its cover by one season, especially a rookie. He's gonna he's gonna develop. He's gonna have this whole offseason to train. I know more than anything, if it's not the fielding, perspective, it's gonna be the offense because that's
Yeah.
where the Astros
Yeah.
saw so much, potential in is his bat. You saw the way he hit the ball the other way majority of the time, up the middle. And I do think there's going to be a little bit more in the home run section next season for him, as well as in the RBI. I think this kid could be a great 9-spot hitter, transform it into the next guy being at the top of the board, which is probably going to be Jerry Pena. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you and disagree with you. The I agree part will be the Zach Cole. I do think he does, if nothing happens to him in the offseason
Mhm.
and everything goes well, he has a good, strong spring training. You're going to see him on the opening day roster.
who does he
And,
beat? You got Zach
Yep.
and then
DeZenzo. You got Jacob Melton.
He'll probably be Melton if he
And-
outplays him.
And
Yeah.
this is where we'll talk about more here in just a second. Real quick, let's just talk about the Astros offense and then what Dana Brown said. And then that's when we can finally get with what's going to happen next season. What we can
Darth
predict.
Vader.
Yeah, Darth Vader's on the board now.
That's
You can hear him breathing too. But Astros offense and offensive ranks to end the season for the Houston Astros of game 162. Runs, they were ranked 21st. Home runs, ranked 17. Walks, ranked 26. Strikeouts, ranked 24. Batting average, 13. On base percentage, 16. Slugging, 18. OPS, 15. Runners in scoring position, 23rd in the league. And the numbers that the categories of the, hitting categories that pop out for me is runner scoring position, the walks, and the strikeouts. You only have one. I would say, to me, in my opinion, you only got one guy that is very, has a great approach at the plate, great play discipline all season, and it was Isak Paredes. That's the only guy I would think that would be, taken away from that because everybody was either swinging the first pitch, second pitch, third pitch.
First striking out.
Yeah, and I can't say Carlos because Carlos wasn't here this season, but Carlos did.
And he did have some quality at bats. I'm not gonna lie to you, he did have some good quality at bats. Strikeout.
Pena did a little better as well as at bats this season.
I agree. I forgot about him too. But strikeouts, real quick. Two guys on the top of my head: Yainer Diaz and Christian Walker.
Jose Altuve too. I would say.
Jose Altuve too. Christian Walker career high in strikeouts. I think he had like 170. I don't have the number right in front of me, but I know it was in 170
right now
area. Yainer Diaz, of course, we saw the at-bats live on television or just live at the ballpark. There were some at-bats that he kind of looked fooled on, chased on. I mean,
so
he has to find
Walker
a way
had Walker had 177 strikeouts, which you are right, it's his career high. So
yeah, Walker 177, Cam Smith 137, Altuve 109. Those are your top three.
I'm curious to see Yainer Diaz.
I have Yainer Diaz right now.
He's at 95.
95 with 20 walks. Yeah, 95.
Which he did tie the Astros catcher home runs in the season. He didn't pass, but I believe he tied. Was it Evan Gattis, or who did he tie?
I would think it'd be.
He had 23 home runs in 2023. He had 20 this year.
All time by a catcher, you said?
Somebody. I've seen something.
The only ones I can think is B-Mac, Brian McCann.
Brett Ausmus, maybe.
Brett Ausmus.
Yeah, I heard something about it, though, that they were talking about that he tied some.
And real quick, runner score position 23rd. And like Angel had mentioned at the beginning of the show, That's just been a staple to this Houston offense for a good couple years now. From 22, 23, 24. I mean, runner score position have always been a big problem for this team. And we've talked about it on the recaps. 1 for 11, 2 for 12, series wise, 2 for 24, 6 for 30. I mean, something has to change right there.
Yeah,
Something
and this
has
is
to change.
and for Altuve, this is his lowest batting average since his career. Like uh, just excluding 2020 season, right? He had a 219, but other than that, it was a big drop offensively from him. He did have 26 strike. I mean, like 26 home runs, 77 RBIs, but
Yeah.
his OPS was, I think, yeah, his OPS was the lowest of his career since 2012 on too. So the OPS was 771. His previous low was 678 in 2023. Sorry, that's when it was.
Real
So it's
quick
been a
too.
while too.
When the Astros really needed him to be hot, it kind of failed because if you look at the splits of the month, July 363, um, and then he goes into August 231, and then September just wasn't great for him either, 218. The
So
OPS
Yarner
is my
splits
price
as a
Sadie.
catcher is 450 plate appearance, 750 OPS, 19 home runs, 61 RBIs. Non-catcher, 115 plate appearances, 1 home run, and 500 OPS.
Yeah, and then that I mean, you've seen the potential with him too. I mean, Yiner Diaz is a really good hitting catcher. You saw it 23, 24. He had a good batting average, almost 300. And then this season, I mean,
I think we
decent.
sound like a, I think we sound like a broken record saying this, but once
But
Yanni
I feel
Diaz
like the home
learns
runs
to play
don't
different.
matter. Like
No,
I mean, home runs are cool, but like it doesn't matter if you're not winning ball games. You're not in the postseason.
But
well,
the
I
extra
mean,
base hits do matter
Yeah.
yeah, they do.
because you have him as a guy that's going to get doubles. I mean, if he hits a triple here and there, by all means. But the extra base hits is what you're looking for in Diaz because you see the power that this kid brings. You saw it in 23 in a good, I wouldn't even say small sample size, about medium, I guess you could say. He played about 100 games. He had 20 something home runs.
Yeah, but I mean, for him, it's also play discipline. I think like we sound like a broken record saying this, but once he learns the play difference, and he's not going to be like he won't live up to his great potential until he fixes that issue. And I think, I mean, it's one thing to be aggressive, but you just got to pick your marks when to be aggressive, and sometimes you just got to be a leadoff hitter and get on base to help your club win, and like pass the baton. But I think he just tries to do too much, and honestly, like he knows he's a great hitter, and that's why he swings a lot. He's aggressive, which is great, but again, it could also affect you. And I think that's what's going on with Yanni Diaz. Like there's stints where he's on fire, he's making contact, but there's also runs where he's swinging at sliders that are in the other batter's box, and chasing high fastballs and stuff like that. So it's again, once he can fix that issue, that's when you'll see Yanni Diaz's full potential.
Real quick, Stephon, before you say something, chase rate for Yiner Diaz, chase percentage 44.3. It is the 1 percentile, which is poor, as well as in walk percentage. He is 2 percentile with a 3.5%. If we talk, you said it yourself, Angel. We sound like a broken record saying this. If this guy can figure out his discipline, he can be one of the most notable power catchers that can hit for average in each season. Like, no doubt about it. He could line up with Cal Raleigh being the power part, even though Cal hit 60
Oh,
home runs,
nah,
which is
no,
really
He's
no,
on
don't,
it.
don't disrespect Kyle like that.
no.
Yarner is
I'm
not
not.
that
I'm talking
elite.
about the
He'll never
power.
He's
be
on a
that elite.
different level right
Miner
now.
has power like Cal Raleigh.
Nah,
You cannot tell me he does not.
nah. I don't think
Okay,
so.
y'all gonna disagree with me on that.
He has power, but it's just not Kyle Riley power. It's two different type of mechanics. He doesn't have much lift like Kyle has lift.
He plays at a ballpark that has 315 to the Crawford boxes. T-Mobile Park itself is just hard to hit at.
Yeah, so
That's
then
what I'm
what's Yarner's
saying.
excuse
Yeah,
then?
that's what I'm saying. He can't compare Kyle Ryder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good take. It's a good take. But
Y'all just took it out of my mouth on that one. I did like what Rich said. A wise man once told me walks leads to runs. We did.
I mean,
say
that's
that. We
true.
need
I mean, it
someone-
happened to
We
us
did
every
say that,
time
yeah.
this season too. Astros walk runners, and then they either get a bloop or somebody rips a double, and the bases are getting cleared.
Just think about the Tigers. One of the Tigers game. Caleb Bort walked in the bases loaded game winning run.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know if you saw too. That I wonder who posted it, but it was just a reel of games where the Mets lost by a run because of extra inning games or just walk offs and all of that. And I could just picture in my head for the Astros too. The Astros had kind of the same situations like you were saying.
Like one game, right?
In the beginning, yeah, like
Yeah.
1-run games, 2-run games. We can teleport and think back of the games. I know one at the top of my head being Toronto. You're up by 2 runs in the 8th, and Toronto comes back and ties the game and then wins that one.
Or if you're the Astros, that one game on July 25th where you let a guy get 6 hits and 6 at bats, 4 home runs, 8 RBIs, and 19 total bases. I don't know if you can guess who that is.
The Astros killer himself that hit another 2 home runs. At
Yeah.
the ballpark.
Well, like speaking of walks, and I know it wasn't a walk; it was a hit by pitch. But we told you that the Rangers were not going to do any favors for the Astros, and
No.
sure enough, they get eliminated on a hit by pitch. Yeah, get eliminated on a hit by pitch. And it's just But
And
honestly,
supposedly the pitcher was never known for like hitting people either. The one that hit him.
yeah.
Now, of
So
course, if we ask the chat, they're going to say yes, it was intentional.
yeah,
So.
but I mean, but again, that's on the Astros for not controlling their own destiny too, not winning the ball games they need to win. So
Yeah. And speaking of Astros and destinies and trying to figure out what's the next, chapter of this Astros baseball, Dana Brown talked about, what's coming into next season, talked about Joe Spada's status because this is a guy that we were talking about manager, American League Manager of the Year at a time. And all of a sudden the boat kind of just sank downhill like the Titanic in the second part of the season. And, this is coming from Brian McTaggart.
Why not Ocean Gate?
Dana Brown was talking about manager Joe Spada's status, and there's a quote: "As far as I'm concerned, Joe's under contract. We're going to take a complete look at all of our operations. As far as I'm concerned, Joe worked hard through this season. We had to battle through a ton of injuries, and I really think the injuries is what caused us not to get to the postseason, and losing Jordan and Pena for those last 3 series is what I really feel like hurt us."
I'm gonna give it a text. Like if I says what I think when he says say a complete look of all our operations, and I think the Chelsea gonna get what they want here. I think you're looking at maybe at a new hitting coach for the Astros, honestly, because this is like again 2-3 years in a row where the Astros haven't been able to get that good run, those situational hit, and or that, but like being able to dissect the picture very good. Like there's been numerous times where the Astros have been shut out by a pitcher who just made his first start or has a few innings in his major league belt, and there's times where they can't figure out a pitcher. I think it starts with the hitting coach there. Obviously, the hitting coach doesn't hit for for the team. He just helps out, guides them, but there's always had to be a scapegoat. There's always had to be someone to blame, and I think it's just like I don't think Joe Espada's the one to take the blame. I think he's done a really, really good job. But battling through these injuries, like he said. But I think it falls on the hitting coaches that the offense have been struggling, and I think they actually have a new hitting coach for next year.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, the players have to perform. So also it's the players' fault for not taking care of their health or taking care of scouting reports or practicing stuff that they are told to do so. I mean, obviously different players come from different ball clubs, so there's different regimes, different schedules, different workloads. So, I mean, there's no excuse. At the end of the day, you're playing baseball, so you're going to have to change for your job. Like, literally, people go to work every day to do different things, and their job is literally to put on some cleats and put on a leather glove and hit a ball. So, I mean, it's not that hard. I mean, it is hard, obviously, but, like, it's not hard as some people's jobs out here that literally got to go work labor or go just do other things, you know what I mean, more stressful things than focus on swinging a bat and catching the ball.
Yeah, I just wanted to break down the numbers in September and just scoring wise for the offense of how many runs they scored. under 4 runs. September 2nd, they lost to the Yankees 7-1. September 4th, they only scored 4 runs, which they lost. They lost to the Rangers, scoring 3 runs. Again to the Rangers, scoring only 2. Lost to the Blue Jays with 3. They won a game with 3. They lost a game with no runs scored. They lost a game scoring 3 runs against the Braves. Obviously swept the Rangers at home. But after that, Seattle shutout. Seattle only scoring 4, scoring 3 in the series finale. And then against the Athletics, scoring 1, shutout. And then in the Angel series, the first game, they only scored 3.
Astros lost 17 of the 44 games decided by exactly 1-run games in 2025.
Mm-hmm. And I want to bring up what Stebby said too about the batting order. I mean, the lineup was changed so much. Like different batting orders that come from the Astros. There was 153 different lineups out of 162 games put out. And yes, we can say because of the injuries was a factor.
Yeah, but I say like how many games did they have the complete lineup? That's what it is. So.
Exactly. That's a good question. I don't have that on me, but that is a very good question. When Yordan came back, you maybe saw 4 or 5 times in the beginning, but I mean, there's no excuse. Somebody has to step up. You saw Christian Walker, Yonder Diaz, Jose Altuve. Guys have to step up in them situations. And like I had mentioned, Altuve's September just wasn't good. Walker, I saw too with the splits with Walker. Walker hits better on the road than he does at Dyken Park.
That's what it seemed like.
That is a huge difference right there.
So then maybe you trade him and get him out of Dyken Park.
Yep, and that's some things we're gonna talk about.
Well, Esteban, they're coming for your job, bro.
Yeah, and then real quick, when asked if Espada is coming back, this is from Dana Brown, answering that question from Mr. Brian McTaggart, said, quote, "I haven't sat down and gone through it yet, but from my initial thought process, Joe did a good job. He battled through all the injuries and pressed a lot of the right buttons, but I will definitely sit down and we're going to talk about all the staff in baseball operations, whether it's the coaching staff, my staff, player development, scouting, everything. We have a full assessment of what we're doing in this offseason. And so we'll take a look and really think about the entire operation. But my biggest frustration, I would say, is with all the injuries. There's no magic bullet. There's nothing to point to say, oh, we got these many injuries because of this. We had freak accidents that happened. There's been multiple reasons why we had a lot of injuries. And you saw what he said in the quote, in the end quote already. You saw what it had mentioned. And I'm going to read it real quick again. But I will definitely sit down and we're going to talk about all the staff in baseball operations, whether it's the coaching staff, my staff, player development, scouting, everything. Angel, you said hitting coach, more than likely. I'm gonna agree with you on that. I think the hitting coaches could be, both of them being Snitker and Cintron, could be on the way out. But I mean, there's other ways you can look at it too. You can see from Tony Perez Chica at third base with his, being a third base coach and the aggressiveness in the base paths and some of the decision making. Maybe that could be another alternative to look at. Of course, you've heard the rumors with AJ Hinch. Bob Nightingale had put out an article this past weekend that AJ Hinch is supposedly supposed to get a new contract from the Detroit Tigers, and if he doesn't, Houston could be another possibility team to go back out there and try to reach him and have a reunion with him. But I agree with him. I think Joe did a really good job, with what he had this season. I mean, I don't think any other manager could have dealt with all these injuries that Joe did. Like, I don't think there could be one, unless you're the Cleveland Guardians that came back from 15 half in the games back and won the division. But what Joe had to try to do, he had to bring up AAA players. He had to put out a different lineup every single day, put a hot player, put a cold player.
And you could think that, not just the organization, but a lot of these players got tired of that crap too. You know what I mean? They probably got tired of injuries. You know what I mean? It doesn't just hurt the guy that's injured, but it also hurts the guy next to him. Like, oh, well, damn, like that just means my workload got a lot tougher because this guy went down and now I had to do double for him, or, a lot of things, putting stress on there. And, some people just get tired of like, man, this like one thing goes good for this team and then now the next thing is bad. So, they probably just had, just things weren't going right for them. That's all it is.
Yeah, and I think you might also have like some new physical trainers or something just to get the body right. Like especially with those like oblique injuries or those calves injuries stuff like that. So just to get the players right, you know, it's it's baseball. So like I'm sure the Astros could find something to stop elbow issues. They would, but they'll probably look at like what they're doing in the minor leagues and see what they can fix just to make sure that doesn't happen when they make it to the big leagues. But it's baseball, like you said. It's a long season. Injuries are gonna happen. There's just no avoiding it. Like
Mhm.
it's gonna happen. But if you can do something like maybe change their off season routine a little bit, so maybe they're not putting enough stress on their arms, during the off season, or I'm sure the Astros will do it. So, like I said, hitting coach, and I think maybe a physical conditioning coach, just to make sure players are doing what they got to do right, just to make sure they stay healthy for 162 games plus the postseason.
Do you think the name changes the stadium effect away? That's funny. Nah, definitely not. But I will say this on going back to Dana Brown, what he had mentioned about the frustration. He said it was injuries, and we talked about it our trade deadline episode. I didn't like the fact that the Astros didn't go get a starting pitcher, at least one of them. He
That's
really
what I
put
touch
all
on too.
he really put all his chips on the table and said, you know what, we're gonna handle, and hopefully Christian Javier comes back and does well and he's healthy. Lance McCullers comes back and he's healthy. Luis Garcia comes back, he's healthy, and JP France comes back and he's healthy. You
Yep.
did not see JP France not even start one game this
Mm-mm.
season. You
Come
saw
on, pitch
two
one
games.
inning.
Yeah, he pitched in the bullpen and extra innings, like you said, but not a start. And that's where the Astros really need was starters. Luis Garcia is another one. He only pitched about a handful of games, and of
Now he's
course,
out the rest season next
yeah,
year.
out for the rest of the 2026 season. We'll talk about that here in just a sec of his future. Lance McCullers injury bug just kept biting him this whole season, and I know he was very frustrated for the fact that he couldn't pitch in some of them games really well. And then Christian Javier, I mean, there were some starts he did pitch good, and then some starts, I mean, it just wasn't there. So that's my part of with Brandon Walter after the trade deadline or after the All-Star break, I meant Brandon Walter pitched in that Seattle series and then he gets hurt.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean, the organization put all their chips on the table for the starters and said, you know what, we're gonna roll with this. We need to bolster our lineup, and I did agree with that. They did need to find some ways to get this lineup back on track. You added Correa. I honestly, in my opinion, I wish Houston would have gave Ramon Urias a chance in that month of September because he only started one game. I want to say in the
Yeah.
first and second week,
And the
and
back
then you
could
didn't see him
contribute.
play until the Athletic series on the road when they're fighting for their lives. I would have liked to see him play a little bit more. And Jesus Sanchez, I mean, that one was a huge,
Bust.
I wouldn't say bust, but just a disappointment in my opinion. He did start off hot in the first series against Boston and Miami. He was hitting the ball, had some multi-hit games, and then I just do not know if
Defense was terrible.
I mean, yeah, the defense. I mean, everybody knew though when they got him, they weren't signing for his bat. I mean, for his glove. It was for the bat. It was a left-handed hitter that Dana Brown wanted, but I'm not sure if the hitting coaches tried to fix his swing because after that series against Miami, at Miami, you only saw one or two good games out of him
Mhm.
through the season and that second half of the season. So, like I said, I mean, starting pitching is always going to be a need at the deadline. It's always going to be a high asking price. But I know for sure, for a fact, and this is just coming from me, not speculating or anything like that. The Astros will be aggressive looking for starting pitching this coming winter.
And I agree with you. I was actually gonna touch on that too, where it says he was frustrated about the injury. So that just kind of tells me that they're gonna make sure they're reinforced for sure. So they have like backups for the backups kind of thing, right? Just to make sure they have enough pitching. Like right now, they have a good problem in the infield where they're trying to fake guys. They used to have Altuve, right? So you know, you got depth there, but I do think like I agree with you. I think they're gonna have some extra pitching, which is gonna be a good thing, right? Just because um all these injuries happen now. In order for that to happen, And I know we're going to touch on this in a little bit. Like they're still paying some guys a lot of money, so there's going to have to be some cuts. There's going to have to be some things that, some hard decisions to make it happen. But I think the Astros will do whatever it takes to make sure they're in the postseason. And this was just an outlier and like a little hiccup they had in the road. But moving on to the Astros BBWA award winners, and this is what the BBWA of Houston gets to vote on for the season. And you know, Lorenzo and I, are blessed enough to vote for this, so it's pretty amazing here. So again, our votes were counted for this. So MVP, the Astros season MVP is Jeremy Pena. Had a great year, right? 304 batting average, 17 home runs, 66 RBIs. Pitcher of the year was a no-brainer, I think, for both of us. Like we're both consistent. I think honestly, everybody was probably like unanimous here, and that's Hunter Brown, pitcher of the year.
Did
Rookie
Jason
of the year-
Alexander give votes?
We don't.
He probably
We
got
don't
like
get
one vote
individual
out of everybody.
I'm pretty sure almost every starting pitcher that had a good run, Brandon Walter had a vote.
Yeah.
Could have had a vote, but yeah, I mean, no brainer. Hunter Brown,
Mhm.
season he had.
Rookie of the year, Cam Smith, right? And this was more, an election's more like with the media, like it's a good guy award, someone who's always friendly with the media, always willing to, take an interview or just,
Daryl Kyle Award.
talk. Yeah, well, Daryl Kyle Award. That's the name of the award. Yes, and it's Josh Hader, as well. So he's always been really good. But I think the first three MVP, pitcher year, rookie of the year were right on. I know we can be some argument that Hunter Brown could also be an MVP for the team because he was
Yeah.
really, really good. But I think all of them were well deserved.
Yeah, it looks like they lined up perfectly. Everybody did pretty good. I mean, every time you looked at the media, you always see Josh Hader taking pictures, signing stuff for kids, and being out there. And then, I mean, Hunter Brown just pretty much showing who Hunter Brown really is this season. And then Cam, doing Cam things. Pena showing that he's not a bust, that he's really that guy that he was that rookie year. He had that little sophomore slump and he dragged it a little bit into the junior year, but this year, he proved it and had a prove me season. And, Astros' future is going to be very bright because you got a lot of infield problems with Paredes. You got Correa, you got Altuve, and then you got people like Bryce Matthews trying to play their way onto the roster too as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they were spot on there. I agree with it.
I remember
Yeah.
last season people laughed at me for saying Jeremy Pena's going to have a 300 batting average season, and look who's laughing now. 300.
304. Snuck it in.
I told y'all he was going to have a good season. I just didn't think it was going to be this season. I thought it was going to be last season, but hey, I'm still taking that with me. 300 batting average this past season. Really good.
Yeah, that was
There you go. Who's got the next segment? Was it me or was it Seven?
Stebby, I think Stebby got some.
Let's go, Seven. Sleeping.
Oh,
So what's next for Houston? So free agents next year for the Astros, you got obviously the main one, Framber Valdez. Another guy that would be really nice to keep would be Victor Caratini. You got Brendan Rodgers and Hector Neris.
Okay. So let's say this already. Framber Valdez, even though he did say with, I think Brian McTaggart, he had sat down with, or just with the media in general, that he wants to, re-sign with the Astros. He does want to come back and be in an Astros uniform. By all means, I think he deserves to come back in an Nationals uniform. I mean, he's still a great pitcher. I mean, ERA has been still one of the best, even though them last 11, 12 starts were just horrendous. He's still a valuable pitcher. He's going to be a 1-2 guy somewhere in the major league, rotation. But I think we can all agree that Framber Valdez is not going to be in the Nationals uniform next season. Agree?
Yeah, I agree. I think so.
So let's say
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Half
Got Angel now kind of falling for, hey, he might be coming back in the Nationals uniform.
Again,
The dude's already in Dominican. Look, once he
I'm
found
not
out the
gonna rule it
Astros
out.
weren't gonna make it, this dude already planned his whole private jet. As soon as that damn game was over in Anaheim, I'm pretty sure the jet was already ready to go to Dominican. So he was wasting no time to get out of here. So right now, best believe he's gonna have his fun. And I'm pretty sure the way that we already speculated and seemed that he was following all the media from the Mets, I mean, that kind of tells you why is he going to follow all these guys from the Mets and then just say he's going to re-sign with the Astros? I mean, why is he doesn't
Unless,
follow all the Astros people?
unless he wasn't wearing a unless he wasn't wearing a Scott Boras hat on the like final day of the season though. But I mean, you can't rule it out. I'm not gonna rule it out just because of in a few episodes ago we talked about what's available for free agents. Uh, you know, kind of, and it wasn't really much. It was I think the top three is gonna be Framber Valdez, Ranger Suarez, and Zach Gallen. Honestly, that's like your top three. And if there's a chance you can get Framber Valdez at a lower price than Ranger Suarez and Zach Gallen, then I think the Astros pull the trigger. I'm not gonna rule it out just because we just literally just talked about they need starting pitching, and and Framber Valdez has a track record of having great starts, hasn't really been injured, right? Been real durable in that aspect. So I'm not gonna rule it out because that's need the Astros are gonna need because we're talking about this departure. Hunter Brown takes that A spot. Okay, cool. Spencer Getty's in there. You get who else after that, right? Unless McCutter's been hurt. I know Blanco's. Or you got Christian Javier. Sorry, who's healthy. So that's you got three. You still need two positions to fill, and you got a lot of injured pitchers there. So I'd say if you can sign one either Ranger Suarez, Fran Valdez, which again I think right now Fran Valdez is your best shot.
So your
And
guys
getting
that
a
are
good
going to
player.
be like your big starting pitcher names, you got Cease, Gallen, Framber,
Oh,
Chris Sale,
see.
club options, Michael King, mutual option.
Okay,
You got
I was saying if you're looking at it, go ahead.
you said I got then you got Jack Flaherty, Verlander, Jordan Montgomery, Shane Bieber with player options as well. Shada Imanaga, club option / player option. Max Scherzer, Kershaw's done with. Woodruff is a mutual option. Zach Eflin, Kodai Senga has an opt out. You got Ranger Suarez, Chris Bassett, Walker Buehler, Nestor Cortez, John Gray, Merrill Kelly, Frankie Montas, Dustin May, Tyler Mell, Freddie Peralta, Marcus Stroman, Lucas Giolito, Aaron Savali, Kenta Maeda, Charlie Morton, which is done for as well, Michael Lorenzen, German Marquez, Jose Urquidy, Tyler Anderson, Andrew Heenan, Kyle Hendricks, Steven Matz, Miles Mikolas, Chris Paddock, Eric Fetty. And I mean, there's a couple other guys that could keep talking, but
Besides Ranger Suarez,
obviously, obviously the big guys are not really there this season.
Ranger Suarez, name me a better pitcher than Fran Valdez.
Lefty wise,
No, it's just doesn't matter.
You can go
on
Dylan
this
Cease.
dynasty. Chris
You
Sale.
think? I want to take.
Chris Sale's a little older, but I'm looking at the
Yeah.
younger kind of cats.
The younger
around
guys?
Framber's age.
Man, I mean, nobody really. I mean, you could. The only guys that stick out to me would be Imanaga with some, and that's it.
Oh, I wouldn't say better than Fran Valdez. Though.
I think
Not better than
Freddie
Framber, but
Peralta's
he
up
could be
there.
tweaked. He could
Freddie
possibly-
Peralta could be yes, I agree. So,
Obviously,
I
he's
think
in a
Freddie
club
Peralta-
option though. That depends
Yeah.
on, and I'm pretty sure the club's going to take that option.
Yeah,
So,
I'm sure.
He's staying in a Brewers uniform, but
Yeah, I think so too.
just saying that Zach Gallen had a really down
Rough
season.
season.
Yeah.
and I don't really trust these.
Other than that, I mean, those guys.
That's
I
what
can
I'm
see-
saying. If the Astros can get Fran Valdez in a kind of a discount because he's showing he's willing to stay. Now I'm sure like the Mets are going to offer him a big contract. I wouldn't be surprised if any other team like that. But if the Astros can find some way get him on a team discount, I think they'll make it happen.
I will
Yeah,
say
but
this,
do the Astros want to put up with the same bullcrap that Framber
And
had
that-
this season?
They've done it for
Another-
6 years.
Exactly, but still, look what it finally put a toe onto this season, and look
He
look
hit
at
a-
it. They lost damn near every game he started this season.
I
I mean, in the
but
beginning,
there
they
was
won almost every
yeah,
game.
but I was saying,
Yeah,
but like, there was a
but
stretch
that's
of
what I'm
13
saying.
games in a row that he won started. But okay, he
Not
didn't
how
see
you
the
start, it's how you finish. If you really
Okay.
wanted to be with
Okay.
this club, you would finish with this club right. You're not
It
gonna
was a
finish with
dick-
this club on bad terms.
It was a dick move. Yes, he did it to Cesar Salazar, who's the third string catcher. He's not going to be doing that to Yanni Diaz. He's
Yeah,
not going to be
that's
doing
his
that.
guy,
To,
but-
yeah,
That's his guy, but it doesn't have no damn reason. You treat every catcher
No,
if it's first,
and you're right.
second, or third as my main guy.
I'm not disagreeing with you. You're right. But I'm saying is, would you take that, drama every now and then for a talented pitcher who's gonna,
No,
lead you to wins, right? I don't know.
no.
I'm
This
gonna
is
agree with
too
Steb
much
on
bull
that one.
crap.
I do not want. If this is me as a coach,
You got to go with one culture and stick to a culture. You can't let
You-
one guy change
if
your
it's-
culture
it's-
because then you're
it's
gonna let
me-
this one guy walk over you, and the rest of the team is gonna be like despised. Like, okay, look, this guy don't give a shit. So if I get ticked off, I get pissed off. If I can't get that extra inning, what are the other guys are gonna want to do? What you're pretty much working the order for every single one of us.
Yeah.
It's like
Let me be
if-
the mediator here.
if-
I agree
if-
with both of y'all.
okay, yeah.
I agree with both of y'all. I agree with Steban because that's.
And I agree with that one too. Like it's
Yeah,
a catch in the
that's what I'm
clubhouse.
saying.
You're
We're
right.
both going to agree on each other's takes, and that's one take right there. Like Steban said, I mean, that honestly puts a toll on your clubhouse. It puts a
It is
toll
the
on
full
you as a
team.
player too. And
That's why we got the train as the logo.
it's you're getting smoke out of Steban's ears right now. But yeah, I mean, it takes a toll on the team. It takes a toll on some of the players.
Stefan, take the hoodie off. You're sweating out there,
And-
dog.
yeah, I know. You're losing some type of respect too as a player. And then you agree with Angels part too. I mean, who's out there that the Astros
There's
can
nobody
go
elite.
get? But where I will say this, and I told you this already, Angel too, is Framber Valdez going to take the offer that the Astros are going to give him? 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a no.
No,
Yeah.
I know.
I wouldn't even say 9. I'd say a 9.9 out of 10. It's
The
gonna be-
qualifying offer, obviously, he's declining that.
qualifying
And
offer, yeah. As soon as
I'm
he
sure the
declines
Astros.
that,
I'm sure the Astros want him to decline that too, because if they don't sign him, they can
get a
get
pick.
yeah.
They get a comp pick
Yeah.
on him if they do that. But they're going to give him an offer either way. You saw that with Alex Bregman this past season. And yeah, Verlander, let's be realistic here. Astro Wolf Craig. I mean, he did have a good last
Yeah,
six
last
starts.
close to the season, yeah.
He did have a good last 6 starts. Give it to Verlander, but I don't think the Astros are going to sign him. Maybe they do. And of course, there's always that mutual respect between him and Mr. Crane. But back to Framber Valdez, you just know, and I feel like Astro fans know this too. I could be wrong, but Framber Valdez is not going to take an offer from the Astros. He's going to go free agency, and he's going to get paid from some other team. And we've talked about it from the trade deadline. Pitching is a big thing. Same thing goes for the offseason. Teams are trying to make their clubs better, and it starts with their rotation as well.
But knowing the history of the drama, you think any other team, it's like same thing with the Astros. Like,
There was one team too that Bob
Yeah,
Nightingale had mentioned. I mean, I don't think he had set the team, but
no, yeah.
unanimously somebody had mentioned
I
that
think
they took him
the
off.
Mets would be on him just more
Because you got Francisco Lindor.
but
Besides that, they need pitching.
I feel like that's a case though for the Mets because due to all the culture that they have on their team,
Yeah.
it's more of a grab for somebody like Framber. Like I'm gonna be surrounded by Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, and all this. You know what I mean?
Culture.
He's got that here too. You got
Yeah,
Altuve, Correa, Alvarez. Like
It could be a new scenery though for
Yeah,
him.
that's what I'm
too.
saying. It's a new scenery.
I
possibly,
understand,
like,
yeah.
I mean, too,
it's
Mets
Framber.
the Mets can
I
give
got
him
you.
an offer and just hang the money like this or an empty
They
check
can.
or just
Yeah.
give him a pen
Yep.
like this and say, hey, what's your offer? I mean, of course, the Mets are going to give him his offer, but hey, how can we be, mutually agreeing on what's a good contract? Because we will give you all the money. You already saw the Cohens. What they did with Juan Soto last year. This season, especially the way that they didn't even make the postseason, you best believe
that
he's
was
going to open
terrible.
his pocketbook and try to do whatever it takes to get.
And then
Well, like-
they're also dealing with Pete Alonso testing the free agency too.
yeah, so they might
They
lose
might
some money
stand
there.
on
too. Yeah.
Framber.
And
because of
what
that.
do they need right now? They need starting pitching. They had
Yeah.
3 rookie pitchers pitching that rotation for the end of this season for them. Brandon Sprout.
Let Framber go over there, and then we'll trade Christian Walker since they're possibly going to need a first baseman to them, and we'll finesse 2 of their pitchers or one of their pitchers prospect.
Man, I feel like Steve Cohen's gonna be like the Saudi Arabians buying cars, just double it.
Saudi Arabia. Kevin Cerner, he's tired of the heat. Anthony was saying it's the Big Apple. I just feel like it's a good spot for Framber. I agree with Steb on there. I think that would be a good spot for him. Mets, New York. I mean, he already played in a big city with Houston, but
So
the
this has,
difference,
like, none of-
I would say the
none of-
difference
You
would be
see, but honestly, do you think with Framber's emotions and inability to have a cool temper, you think those New York fans are gonna be,
And
they're
that's what I was
worse.
saying. That's why my point was going to be. Houston fans, they didn't really. I mean, of course, you had some out there that are going to boo him, but New York fans are going to boo you like every single. Even their kid is going to boo you when you
And
come off the mouth. You're doing bad.
and imagine what Framber's gonna be, with his immaturity. I guess you can say like emotional maturity, right? He has a bad start getting booed out there. That's gonna make matters worse for him, I think too. I think Framber's a great pitcher, but I think he needs that fan interaction. I'm sure he'll get it. New York, a lot of Dominicans, a lot of Puerto Ricans, but when he has that bad start, say 2, 3 bad starts, those fans will turn on you quick over there in New York because again, like they're passionate about the baseball, passionate about the Yankees and Mets. So I mean, it's just
Yeah, I mean
I mean,
that's gonna be if he thinks that those little stinches where he'd get pissed off in Houston would be bad.
yeah.
Over there, he would actually get booed, and they would actually possibly throw trash on the outfield, for certain situations, if anything. But I mean, that those teams are ruthless. New York teams are ruthless. They really would like to be heard.
I will say this.
Possibly.
Just a free agent talk because we've already talked about Framber Valdez and being
I
in New
wouldn't
York.
say fake fans. I would say great fans. Just because they respect the players out there and doing good stuff.
Back to mention real quick what player pitching names I think Houston could look and have their eye out will be. I'm starting from veteran being oldest player to young on my free agent list right here that's in front of me. Merrill Kelly is an option. Jose Quintana is an option as well. Chris Bassett's an option. Let me go up a little. Michael Lorenz is an interesting one. He has a mutual contract. Jordan Montgomery is a risk because he just had surgery last season with the Diamondbacks. Who else could be? Frankie Montas has a player option. Shota Imanaga, I just do not think he will be coming to Houston. Zach Eflin, to me, makes some good sense. Tyler Molly's another one, but he did have an injury this past season with the Rangers.
What about Griffin? Griffin Canning.
Griffin Canning could be a good one. 29 years old. Dustin May's an interesting one too.
Yeah, but I don't think he likes us.
I mean, that I don't
Yeah.
say he did or did not. That's his opinion. Dylan Cease. I think honestly, and this is a hot take right here. I think Houston's going to be very aggressive to go get him at the deadline. I mean, not the deadline, at the winter, in the offseason. Because Cease has been a guy that the Astros have been eyeing on for a good while since Chicago White Sox to you saw how this deadline had transpired for them with the Padres trying to get 4 out of 1 or 3 out of 1 for him. So Dylan Cease is another one. Zach Gallen's another one. Shane Bieber's an interesting one. That's a player option, meaning the player has the take of being with that team or testing free agency. And
Well, here's so the average market value. This is according to Sports Track for Framber Valdez is 33 million a year. You got Dylan Cease at 26, Ranger Suarez at 27 million a year too. You think that's something the Astros are willing to pay?
if Jim Crane, and he's mentioned it before, if the window is there, as long as he's there, then it could be possible. It's just up to him too.
Real quick, let's get back to this. Let me just cover the rest of the segment real fast.
All right, yeah.
So
we're dragging on.
the Astros money that will come off the board from players that are pretty much not here and wearing an Astros jersey at the moment. Jose Abreu, Ryan Presley, and Rafael Montero. This money will come off the Astros pockets. Arbitration hearings from 2026. You have Chas McCormick, Isaac Paredes, Mauricio Dubon, his final year, Jesus Sanchez, Jeremy Pena, 4.1 million last attribution, Brian Abreu, final year, Ramon Arias, final year, Jakes Myers, Luis Garcia, Stephen O'Kurt, and then contracts for next season. You have Carlos Correa, 32 mil, Jose Altuve, 32 mil, Jordan Alvarez, 26 mil, Josh Hader, 19 mil, Nas McCullers Jr., 17.5 mil, Christian Javier, 21.4 mil, Christian Walker, 20 mil, And what do the Astros need to address? And a big one here to me as well is that stands out big time is the Dubon and Ramon Urias, because both guys are really big utility roles.
To me, my take is you might have seen Luis Garcia wear the Astros uniform one last time. Honestly, they did the same thing to to Jose Urquidy too. He got injured finally in arbitration. They just let him go. I think that's the case for Luis Garcia too. Injuries just took a toll. Now this is a hot take for me.
Ooh.
I wouldn't be surprised, especially we just talked about how the starting pitching market is through the roof. It's going to take a huge amount of cash to let that out. I wouldn't be surprised if you might have seen the last of Lance McCullers Jr. either too. He's being owed 17.5 million, and he hasn't been staying healthy. And honestly, they're already paying Josh Hader 19 million. That was correct. Yeah, 19 million. I don't see why they need to have the most expensive bullpen. Like unless Lance McCullers enters the bullpen row, I don't see him in an Astros uniform, which I don't think he will.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on allowing Lance to walk and possibly the Luis Garcia as well.
But
Because
you still have to pay him. Sorry,
Yeah.
you still have to pay him the
Yeah,
17.
that's going to be a contract that's going to be hard for the Astros to kind of trade away. So no, I don't think any team out there is going to take that money of 17.5 for 1 year.
Yeah, it's just something you probably gonna have to pay him out and let him go pretty much, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which would be honestly would be the right thing to do. You know what I mean? I would rather end it good with Lance and he tried to come back many times. At a certain point you might just have to, break ways with him. And then who knows, maybe he leaves Houston and he goes somewhere else and he could be a different player. But Houston's already gave him many and numerous opportunities. Eventually you're gonna have to come to an agreement.
Yeah.
Now, but I'm sorry. But I could also see again they still have to pay it out, so there might be a chance where they're just gonna let the contract run out too and just keep him part of it.
Just let him play his last season, basically.
Yeah.
Gets injured, whatever. Let him run it down.
Sorry, though. Go ahead.
No, you could do that. For arbitration, I think Chas McCormick. I don't think the Astros are going to get an agreement.
Yeah, he's
with
gone
him.
as well.
I think more than likely he's going to be one of the guys that's out. And I agree with you on Angel with Luis Garcia. You saw that with Urquidy this past offseason that the Astros and him didn't, agree on that. Ashworth Cray maybe being healthy on an entire offseason will help Lance. That can help out a lot. A lot of players, and just all the players on the roster right now, they're probably battling some type of injury throughout this 162 game.
Yeah.
Season. So
best believe there's a lot of guys that are probably running through little fatigueness and just never really said nothing because due to how severe and how thin things were for the Astros this season.
Yeah. And these are not hot takes, but Mauricio Dubon or Ramon Urias will be traded. And this is just my opinions. These are hot takes for me. One of those utility guys are going to be traded. I don't know if it'll be Urias. I don't know if it'll be Dubon.
I would say
to me, I think Dubon makes more sense to be staying in Houston because he has the infield and the outfield capability.
Yeah,
but you have Ramon Urias, that's a Gold Glove infielder.
He has the value.
Yeah, so he has a lot of value. So one of the utility men will be traded. Chas McCormick and Luis Garcia will not return in an Astros uniform. Possibly two. I would say even Stephen O'Kurt. That's another guy. I think he did really good with Houston this season, but you saw obviously how this bullpen had Souza, Brian King, and Josh Hader. You had three lefties in the bullpen. I think it'd be a little difficult to keep, sustaining four. It'd be good to have four, but if you're trying to save money and try to, be aggressive in this offseason, then I think it just makes sense to not have, what occur with the arbitration.
Yeah, I think a big one is that stands out the most to me is just Jesus Sanchez. You know what I mean? Just because of his situation, just the potential of him, but the way he's just not living to his potential is going to be another big risk. Do you want to keep going out for him, or where he could be taking other people's opportunities, like Melton or Zach Cole, like we mentioned before, and which Melton is kind of a player that before he got injured, it looked like he was already a ready to ball type of player, ready to go already, because it's about time for him to already pan out as a big leaguer, I believe, too, as well.
Yeah, I think we'll be seeing Jose Altuve full time in the outfield too, just because you got to put his stock fighter somewhere,
Yeah.
honestly. So, and then uh Alvarez will probably take over the full DH role. Like you probably see Alvarez maybe swap with Altuve for the DH for a little bit here and there, just to save the legs on Altuve as well. So, I mean, it's just something.
They need to bring back
Think
that
about.
pinch runner rule where they could just let somebody run for him every time, too.
I'll say this too. I mean, I think Jesus Sanchez. I know a lot of Astro fans actually that are just wasn't happy about the performance that he did, but I think he stays. I think the potential is there. I
Yeah.
honestly do, and especially if Dana Brown, this is a guy that wanted a left-handed hitter in this lineup, and he went to go trade for him. I believe he's going to keep him,
Yeah.
regardless.
That's why I'm
It's
kind of like
kind of
1 foot in, 1 foot out as well with him, because I feel like also, say they do clean house a little bit and they bring in a new hitting coach, and whatever new hitting coach could benefit him.
Yeah,
honestly like you always got to watch out for the sophomore slump too. So if you let like Jesus Sanchez go and then we stick to Cam Smith, there's no guarantee he's gonna have success next year too. And then what do? You're stuck with rookies, right? Again, same situation as well. So I mean, yeah, I think Jesus Sanchez giving at least one more, look at just to make sure he's doing good. However, if he's not hitting like in spring training, struggling early on in the season, I don't see why they'll stick with him too. So I mean, but that could be an option as well.
I have a question for both y'all. What do we do with the Christian Walker situation? I mean, obviously, he's still with us, but do you ride him out, or do you see how he starts the first half and you shop him?
He let the Astros in home runs and RBIs this season, so I think you keep him at first base. I think
Yeah.
there's better days for Christian Walker. I think fans are just overreacting a little bit just because he did strike out a lot. I'll give him that. He struck out a lot. There was some situational hitting there, but like you just said, right? If there's a new hitting coach, he can probably benefit from that as well. So I think the Astros paid this man to be their first base, and that's exactly what they're going to be. I don't think this is a Jose Abreu situation all over again. I think
Yeah.
you're looking. I think there's better days for Christian Walker. I think he'll have a bounce back season next year.
yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
whenever Walker first came to Houston, I had a lot of hopes, but I also had in the back of my head, I kind of had a feeling that it wasn't going to be instant year one, same Arizona type of season type of thing, due to the fact that he has to get adjusted to being a whole new ball club and being used to being with one whole ball club and a way a whole different organization ran. So for sure, definitely think a sophomore season from Walker would be a really nice one for him, especially here in Dakin Park.
I agree. Um, when the Astros traded for him, I said this numerous
We'll
times.
sign him. We signed him.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant to say. Sign him. Sorry about that. When the Astros signed him, I said this numerous times in the offseason, Angel. You can back me up on this. The Astros didn't sign him for the bat. I mean, of course, you want to sign him for the bat because he did hit really well in Arizona.
Now, I would say the bat as well.
The bat,
But
okay, yeah, but more than anything, it was the
The
gloves.
glove. Yeah, that glove is-
Defensively,
I
a
don't think it's any better than
consecutive
that.
three-time consecutive first baseman that won that Gold Glove award. The Astros haven't had a defensive first baseman since Gurriel, and that was in 2022. They ran it with Jose Abreu. They did a platoon over there after the DFA of Abreu with Singleton, Caratini, Diaz, and even saw Mauricio Dubon pick up a first baseman too. And that's why I just do not see Houston trading him. He has a
Yeah.
no trade clause too, not to mention, meaning that he gets to decide where he wants to be traded. But yes, the 170 something strikeouts, that career high, I'm pretty sure that's a sour taste in his mouth. I don't think a lot of Astro fans were expecting that. Like you had mentioned too, Angel, some of his situational hitting and big game moments, first and third, second and third, runner on third. And he couldn't, there'd be times he could bring the guy in, but most of the time he was either, flyouts, strikeouts, majority of the time too. So, like you said, maybe a new hitting coach could be in the works. He comes to Houston. maybe that fixes Walker as well. And we did talk about the splits. Walker at Dyken Park wasn't really too well this season.
Mhm.
And away from Dyken Park, he was a really good hitter. But I think there's just a little bit more improvement for him. Yes, he is a middle in his mid 30s, but if you trade him away, who are you going to put at first base? Let's be
You got
honest.
nobody else.
You got nobody
Yeah.
else. And I'm not going to say Isak Paredes because I know a lot of people would say put him at first base, but look what he's dealing with right now. He's dealing with a hamstring injury.
That's why second base is kind of reluctant too. Like, yeah.
If you think about it too, if Paredes tries to stretch at first base to get an out from a speedster trying to beat the throw, I mean, hamstrings are one of them tough injuries that can happen, and that's why to me it just wouldn't make sense for Isak to be at first. It's another position too that he would have to learn. Who would you put at first? You can't put Correa. I think Correa is going to be your starting third baseman. I honestly think so. Jeremy Payne is going to be at short, and it's going to be a platoon at second base of, like I said, one of the utility guys are going to stay. You got Jose Altuve, and you'll have Isak Paredes. And I'm pretty sure maybe there will be a game at Paredes that can play first, but as of right now, to me, it wouldn't make sense for Houston to trade.
Craig has a good point. I wish Paredes would have gotten surgery. So what does Paredes do in the offseason? Does he go through with the surgery or does he keep rehabbing the way he did?
It's too late now.
It's too late now. Because if he does the surgery, he's going to miss probably all the way till April.
All-Star break, yeah.
Yeah, he has to stug it out basically, and then if he gets re-injured next season, you know why.
But of course, Paredes too probably had in the back of his head like, "Hey, we're going to the postseason, and I'm going to get ready
to win
to prepare myself for that." But
what I think will happen is you're going to be seeing a rotation of. I know Joe Espada doesn't want to have Jordan Alvarez in the outfield a very long time, and you just saw it there. You saw it this season, straight angle when he inside at home plate, just because I don't see him, and like right here with this coming to Jordan Alvarez, I don't think he has the knees for it. I know he had surgery, and so.
Then they tried it before whenever they're bringing him up. It was
a first, it was
a no-go with the Dodgers, I believe.
Yeah, so I mean, I think what's going to happen is you're going to see Altuve playing right field most of the time. I'm sorry, left field most of the time. Isak Paredes playing second base, and then Jordan will be DH. However, they might rotate a little bit where they might have Jordan Alvarez play outfield a little bit, give Isak Paredes a DH row or Altuve a DH row, and then have either or at second base. Just kind of like a little rotation there.
Because I'll say this too, because you have to have them three in your lineup.
Yeah,
you have to have them three.
You 4 too, because Correa's not, again, like you said, he's not moving third base.
He's going to get days off though, Correa too. You can't, forget about that. But those three in particular that we're talking about, Jose Altuve, Jordan Alvarez, and Isak Paredes. Them guys
I wouldn't be surprised that Astros even look towards letting Paredes get a day at first base. Say Christian Walker needs a day off from fielding.
My thing. Because maybe he in the offseason, maybe the Astros do notify him and tell him, hey,
if you decide one day, hey, I need to give Jordan the day off. You have so many options in the outfield versus infield. I mean, you really don't have an option to play first base. Mine is if Caratini comes back, if Dubon's playing there. Paredes could get a shot at it, but that's something that he was definitely going to have to develop in the offseason moving forward.
Yeah. But go ahead.
Go ahead. No, Angel, go ahead.
I was going to say, it's things, but, there is some guys we're looking at right now who are in the final year of their arbitration. And I think this is the moment where you need to kind of rally up your things. And I think Brian Abreu needs a contract extension before next year as well. So
I think it's gonna be tough for the Astros to kind of get that contract negotiation of extensions with Jeremy Pena again back up, because this is the time to do it. I mean, the winter time, but of course, being a Scott Boras agent really takes a toll, and especially the season that Hunter Brown just had, that's going to be very tough for Houston to try to negotiate with if they try to, open into an extension with Hunter Brown. But the one that was really close to getting it done was Jeremy Pena. So, but I do agree. Brian Abreu should be a guy that
Paredes too.
Look into. We have with Paredes too. He does still have maybe 2 or 3 more arbitration years.
Yeah.
So I would think with him, but I will say this: we did talk about free agents next year for the Astros. Brendan Rodgers, um,
He's probably
unfortunate for him, he couldn't really get through the injury bug this season. As the shocker one was Hector Neris. I did not know that Houston was just with him on contract. I did not know that. But Victor Caratini, and this is a hot take for me. Houston will look into trading Yiner Diaz, I think. And this is just
I
that's what
think
I,
I had
it's a
seen
hot
something
take.
about that too, and
I think it's a
it
hot
doesn't
take
sound bad. Yeah, it doesn't sound bad.
because Victor Caratini did a really good job offensively for Houston. And I think he can, he could still lead this
Yeah,
staff.
I think he
Because
could
he's been
take.
with Houston for the
Um,
2 seasons now.
yeah, I think he could definitely take Yarner's role.
And I'm trying to look at his age. He's 32 years old. And if let's say that does happen, let's say Houston trades
Walker
Yiner,
Buehler.
and look at your one. Your one would be Victor Caratini if they resign him back.
Caesar,
Who's going to be number two? You think Cesar Salazar, or you
Caesar
think Houston,
Salazar, or Walker Janik.
Or you think Houston wouldn't? I think too early for Walker. I would say. I think you got to develop him another year. I could be wrong,
so
but
2 years. Yeah, possibly 2 years on Janik's wait time.
yes, that's what I think. But when you look
Will Bush.
when you look at the free agents for next year, JT Realmuto will be a free agent. Salvador Perez gets a club option. He's never leaving KC. Mitchell Garver, mutual option. Christian Vasquez, an unrestricted free agent. Danny Jansen has a mutual. Contreras, a club. I already said Caratini. Max Stassi hasn't played for a while now. Austin Hedges is an unrestricted free agent.
They're not trading out here.
Okay. But I mean, if they don't, James McCann could be a good backup, and Christian Vasquez, another guy that Houston's very familiar with, could be another good backup. And then this is what I'm saying. This is a hot take.
Yeah.
If Yiner Diaz does get traded, they re-sign Victor Caratini, and then you look at one of these guys as your backup because
Mitch Garver maybe too.
That's why I say he has a mutual option. But just for the fact that you got Walker Yannick still in, developing in the farm, and plus two with Yiner, you can get picks. Or not picks. You could get prospects, or you can get MLB ready players now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too turned away.
Say it again.
Like I wouldn't be too turned away on that opinion of trading Yiner because, I mean, he's there.
Still young too.
He's still young. So that's what I mean. Like he did his thing with the Astros. We saw good things for him, really good things for him. But there's also pros and cons to the situation as well. You know what I mean? He's either going to get better or stay the same or slowly decline. And I feel like there's a lot better catchers out there just due to the fact that, his defense is not the best. And then his chase rate is kind of crazy. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. He's still, like you said, the power hitter, the guy that's good guy to have out there. But like we also mentioned, I said, is his arm is just not there. His arm is just inconsistent to throw out runners. They run on him all day.
Angel, your take.
I don't know. I see it hard for them to trade Yanier Diaz right now. He did have, he was top 10 in wins above replacement and catcher too. So I mean, this is a catcher there's not really that many besides like you're looking at the big guys like Kyle Riley and Contreras, Salvador Perez. You don't really have offensive caliber catchers, right? So I just think his bat, like we said, he's just played discipline away from being a great hitter. I think next year
he's a great hitter with the plate discipline. You saw it last season in 23.
So what you get out of Yanier is a 20 home run guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's not many catchers that can give you like 20 home runs. Again, Alejandro Kirk, good contact hitter, not going to hit you for power.
Yeah, definitely.
You got Gabriel Monero, who again could do that, but like the hard hitting catchers right now are Salvador Perez, Kyle Riley, Adley Rutschman when he's healthy, maybe Francisco Alvarez, but Will Smith, but I mean, I guess you could put Austin Wells in that category, Shea Langoliers, but after that, it's just, he's still young, he's still developing. I think keeping Yannier Diaz will be the best interest for the Astros. Honestly,
You brought me a really good spark though. You did mention Adley Rutschman, who the Orioles did give a big hefty contract to their prospect Samuel Basallo. So in that situation, are the Mariners already? I mean, not Mariners. Are the Orioles already leaning on their bigger prospect already due to Rutschman being injured a little bit? And do the Orioles trade Rutschman because Basallo is
DH
going to
him.
be the next guy?
You could DH him, or you could put him. You could
Yeah.
transition him to a first baseman. Either
I
way.
don't
Yeah,
think
but
they would do it.
yeah, but you know people are going to be ringing Orioles because of that situation.
And of course, you saw Adley being a all-star. Of course, last season he wasn't healthy, but when this guy's healthy, I mean, he's one of the best hitting catchers, especially a switch hitter too. He's one of the best, and of course, his defense is not bad either.
Mhm.
So that's my point. I mean,
And
Baltimore
so
already has a guy over there.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They could be a little high on their guy already. So that's what I'm saying. They could be like, oh well, Adley's my old toy. Let me just not throw him away. But you know
they're
what I mean?
not.
It's not big of a fight as of like the future.
They will listen on offers to him.
Yeah.
I mean, for him, because of course, what they need to bring in.
Yeah, their situation's
side.
pretty bad too.
So this was Adley Rutschman's All-Star season in 2024. He finished with a 250 batting average, 19 home runs, 79 RBIs, 709 OPS. That was his All-Star season 2024.
Mhm.
This was Yannier's 2025, and you saying it was and you were saying it's a bad season for Yannier Diaz.
I never said it was a
256.
bad season.
Oh, well, you're making I feel like I'm making it seem like
I guess we
he's
could say
No,
bad.
no,
Bad.
it's-
We could
yeah.
say bad play discipline wise. Discipline.
Yes.
okay.
And you like
He
you
still
said,
hit-
if he could get the play discipline right, then
No, he could definitely hit. He could hit 30 home runs if he
Exactly.
had the
So-
discipline.
Okay, compare 2024 season. So Adley Rutschman's 19 home runs, 79 RBIs, 709 OPS, right? So obviously 103 strikeouts, so doesn't strike out a lot.
Mhm.
2024 Yannier has 16 home runs, 84 RBIs, 766 OPS, 107 strikeouts, 84 RBIs, and even this year too, 20 home runs, 70 RBIs, 256, 701 OPS. If Adley Rutschman wasn't a first round pick and wasn't having all the hype, you'd probably see Yannier Diaz as an all-star too.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of similar, in that aspect. So I just think, I don't know. I don't see them getting rid of Yannier.
that's why it's a hot take.
Yeah,
And
they
then my
No,
reason
no,
too is
I
because
understand.
they need-
I understand. I understand.
and because they need to re-bolster the farm. Getting prospects is going to help doing that, because losing them picks from that, from the Astros cheating scandal, that put a damper on them, honestly.
I think
So-
to overcome that, you got to go to Dominican, get those international signings, and kind
And
of
that's what they've been doing. That's
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
all they could honestly
those
do.
are really. That's just like basically hitting the lottery as well with the international signings. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They
it
buy,
is.
they
They're
buy
young.
really low, and then you kind of just hope these names could pan out. Because for all you know, you're going off of the name most of the time. Like, oh, this
Yeah.
kid, this is this. I just hear a lot about this kid. But really, what's it going to be whenever it's 4 or 5 years later with the organization when it's time for them to come up, when they're no longer 18, 17 years old.
I mean, the Astros are pretty good. You're looking at Christian Javier again,
I mean,
probably.
Kevin
And
Alvarez
like-
is one that I'm really excited to see.
Yeah,
I've been
and
seeing this
there's
guy.
no
I've
way
just
the
seen this
Astros
guy
will trade that guy.
everywhere that everybody's chasing him. Literally, like in this trading card world of baseball, like everybody's like real high on Kevin Alvarez at the moment. I swear, I'm being honest with you.
Well, you saw the signings of Fernando Tatis, Junior Caminero, Yordan Alvarez. So yeah, you can hit in the lottery with that, with the international signings. And Houston usually does a really good job, at least getting a top prospect from the international pool. But taking away from that hot take of the Astros, that was mine. But here's
Yeah,
another one for me, real quick. The Astros will trade one of their top prospects this offseason for a pitcher. And
It'll be Walker Yannick, not Miguel Ulloa.
I don't think Miguel Yola.
I
it's
think
either,
it would have to be DeZenzo.
it's in.
But is he considered a prospect? I don't.
I think DeZenzo
don't
or
think so.
Whitcomb would be your guys. I mean,
Them two are going to be names to look at. I'm going to say, Jacob Melton.
Is he a prospect still though?
that's
I
the
mean, he
guy
did
that's
make his debut in the middle of the season.
Yeah, he's supposed to be big league ready.
So, I mean,
I mean, I can see
former number one prospect
Jacob Melton beating him though.
because this outfield is
Can be.
very congested with
Yeah.
Zach Cole. Jake Myers could be even a name that could be thrown out there for a trade. Cam Smith.
Zach Cole did play center field.
That's what I said. It's Cam
Yeah.
Smith, Jesus Sanchez, Zach DeZenzo. Now, if you want to put Jose Altuve and Jordan Alvarez in that list too, you can. Mauricio Dubon too, you can put on that list if you want to as well. But I think one of those guys will be traded. I'm do not feel comfortable saying Bryce Matthews will be traded. I just do not.
Yeah, no, I don't think it happens. I think Dana's too locked in on him right now.
Yeah, I think Houston holds off with him. Shea Whitcomb. That's
where do you put him?
Some Bryce has actually played some
outfield depth too. Yeah, outfield depth too as well. Recently, and they did play him in. They did play him in center and the Angels. And
but how comfortable are would they be putting him in the outfield? I mean, yeah, you got
just as comfortable as Cam Smith.
That's what I was gonna say too. Just the same, thing with Cam.
Okay.
If you're gonna give this guy a big opportunity, why are you not gonna give this guy a big opportunity? He's your number one prospect as well. Just different seasons.
Okay. So those two are my hot takes. Like I said, very hot takes.
I mean, dude, the kid is a pure raw slugger for a little guy. I mean, I'm not saying he's a little guy, but he's smaller compared to a lot of other people around the league and a lot of prospects. You look at these prospects now, where you got a Bryce Eldridge, freaking opposite version of Judge, the lefty version of Judge, freaking 6'7".
You got Luis Matos too.
Yeah, you got all these big guys, and you look at Bryce, he's just a skinny ball player. I mean, just a regular, ideal, average ball player. And the kid has pop though. I mean, it's crazy.
Yep. Hit home run in Anaheim, but and then like I said, my second hot take was one of them prospects, meaning Jacob Melton. I think for me it would be Jacob Melton. One of them outfield prospects. How about that? Will be traded in the offseason for a starting pitcher.
I can see that.
Somebody. Yeah, we'll definitely lose one of our top 20 guys.
Yeah. Give me your hot takes before we sign off.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
I think you could get rid of if we do see a prospect go, I would think it would possibly be Shea Whitcomb.
Okay. I kind of gave mine already when I said Lance McCullers was not going to be in the Astros uniform.
Okay, Lance McCullers. No.
But what are the plans for Full Steam Ahead before we close it out?
Yeah, so we're gonna have to. Obviously, that would be a disclosed discussion. We will.
Okay, I thought we were announcing it. Sorry.
I mean, for I don't know, for this off season. Well, not for this off season in particular, but obviously the actual season already came to an end.
Probably after playoffs, maybe if we were to record.
Maybe. I know this coming week, Dana Brown and Spot is going to talk to the media, so maybe we'll talk one more time about with that stuff, thoughts on it, and all that good stuff. And then, possibly maybe after the postseason, we'll regroup unless something happens in firings, hirings, all that type of stuff. So,
trades,
all that type of stuff. I don't think trades can happen until
after winter meetings.
Same thing goes for contract extensions. Not that I've seen any contract extensions given out, but that whenever that time comes. And other news, Bruce Bochy out in Texas. Got a lot of firings happening around Major League Baseball. Rocco Baldelli leaving.
Giants too, right? Bob Elvin
in San Francisco. So, there's going to be a lot of changes. Ron Washington, I'm not sure if he'll manage with the Angels again after, with dealing with some health issues this past season. Yeah, you got a lot of moving compartments. Of course, we don't know the status of Joe Spada. We do not know the status of Dana Brown. I think Dana Brown has a year on his contract as well as Joe. So, don't know until we will find out. But like I said, we'll probably record one more time this week just for the fact that the Astros have their media session with the general manager and the head coach. I think it's tomorrow. But, we'll figure out what day for that one, and then from there, maybe right off into the sunset of this World Series, depending on how the guys feel and all that good stuff.
Good, sounds good.
But Sebi, Angel, any final thoughts on this season? I mean, rookie season for Sebi.
It was a cool first time season being here on the podcast and being able to meet some new friends and having friends coming in here and be able to articulate our opinions on the Houston Astros and other things that would go around. It was fun. It was fun for sure. Just a different aspect of the whole sports community and sports world. Really appreciate everybody coming in here every time and rocking out with us, regardless if y'all don't agree with our dumb opinions or liked our voices or our faces, or y'all are here just to hate us. At least y'all are here just to show up. I mean, regardless, it was a cool ride, regardless of the Astros outcome.
Yeah, chat. What can we find y'all on? You can find us at Big City Wings or something,
You can find us on the International Space Station because it's broadcasted through all the satellites.
It was awesome doing that too, being able to do it at Big City Wings this season.
That was cool, man.
We haven't done one since White Rhino. That was last year, I think, Angel, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So being able to do a live one, that was pretty awesome. The coverage this season, I will say, has been different from last and from the other years too, because
previous years,
we've just been so busy. Now
we got our regular lives,
regular lives. We have kids now, so it's just been a different, not even circumstance, just a different ride this whole season. Showed up every time just to laugh at y'all. Kevin, we love you. As Stebby would call them, the full seam gooners, the late night goonies. But Angel, I mean, what is this year number 3?
Yeah,
23 started, I think.
23. No, 22.
No, 23.
23. Yeah, so
year 3, man.
Year 3 in the books. Yeah, it's been good. I enjoy having the three of us. I get tired of learning those voices sometimes. I'm just kidding, but but it was good. It just made it like a better feel, better vibe, better conversations, and so hopefully we can continue.
Yeah, and it's like he said, he's tired of hearing my voice. It's just the same thing of him with school nights.
I'm tired.
But year 4 for me. We started this in 2022. And man, it'll be year 5 for me next season if we continue on. Different season this year for all of us because the Astros did not make the postseason. Different coverage, a lot of different things this season. Specifically for me, it's just been different, but enjoyable because we come and talk Astros baseball with y'all. Yes, the Twitter numbers have been down from previous years, but we try to do it as a respective non-fan base.
You know what?
For the sake of both of us.
I think Kevin was looking for job applications for the parties and be the Twitter.
Hey, we can bring you in, Kevin. We can bring you in, but yeah, I mean, it's been down.
When you do the test dummy, whenever the Astros do bad, we could just throw stuff at
it. But yeah, I mean, down season from social wise, but you never know. Maybe next season we'll come back strong. Maybe we add more people on if you're interested. I mean, by all means, we're open to hearing each and every one of y'all. We love to do giveaways. I mean, we did 2 ticket giveaways this season. We did a bobbleheads. We did cards. I mean, it's going to be a very interesting offseason for all of us because I do want to try to make a little bit more content with Stebby. I know he's a big card collector, so I know I want to see him look around with the Astro cards and try to see what we can find, maybe some gems or whatever. But but yeah, Kevin, put me in like McCormick.
Besides the fact of how the Astros did this season and covering the Astros on the podcast, what I really took away from this was just another way to hang out with the boys. You know what I mean? Another way to hang out with the group of people and another group of friends. Basically, you kind of grow through this stuff because a lot of times people are not just here to hear about the Astros, but here just to check up on each other or just to see, talk to each other. Really,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I agree. We're just missing some brewskis in our hands right now.
yeah.
Honestly, talking about
What
it.
a,
I
what a,
mean,
what a
we've
little
even talked.
bonfire.
Yeah, the guys had talked about doing a postseason watch party. I mean, obviously that didn't happen, but never know. Next season can happen, and yeah, we see
Yeah,
you,
and then
Anthony.
I think I seen Mr. Morris said that he was going to sponsor a suite for opening day for the Full
No,
Steam
he
guys.
didn't. No,
Yeah,
okay,
Yeah,
I did see that.
I'm
okay,
just
Brought
waiting
to you
for
and
by
it.
Steve.
I'm just
I,
waiting for the last 3 digits so he can send it to me on the back of his information.
I think he said it was sponsored by Stevenson and Stevenson. So just the big auto parts shop right there. So he got the money.
that'd be awesome. That'd be badass to do. But yeah, usually this is it. And when this is where I come up and say where you can see us, where they can follow us. Full Steam Ahead on TikTok, Full Steam Ahead on Twitter. That's where you can find us. And FSA Full Steam Ahead on Instagram, of course, on YouTube. We're still going to try to put some content. Well, we'll put some throwbacks on there with some videos, maybe throughout the postseason. Even though the Astros didn't make the postseason, excuse me, this season, we'll put some throwbacks on there, of course, where you can listen to our beautiful voices on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Wherever you get your podcast, we're going to be there. Like, rate, subscribe, let your people know. Man, it's just been a fun season. Of course, had to go back to the drawing board in the offseason myself, and we'll look at a new background. We'll look at a new video. Them things are fun to do. I'm saying that with a straight face because them things are pretty hectic to do and all that type of stuff. But hey, we're gonna continue doing this. Maybe the off season too. We'll put some articles out. We'll see what we got in our bag. But of course, we're still gonna be here for your Astros content, breaking news. Um, maybe see Esteban play and throw against a person. Pitching at a local ballpark. Going against some of the guys. Maybe Anthony and Kevin want to come
It
out for that
actually
one.
would be fun, honestly. Now that you bring that up, like me versus, all the guys in the group chat, maybe from the fantasy team, getting that bat, 3 pitches each or something.
Hey, maybe we'll put that out there.
I just know Anthony Mars needs to be leadoff. He's going right to the
You know,
belly.
fantasy punishment. Just stand at the batter's box while he get hit by pitches by
Yeah, or
everybody.
just be the catcher with no cup and just wear it.
God, pull a Happy Gilmore that
Brutal.
just stands in front of the batting cage and just takes it off the noggin.
I heard Mars likes being tied up, but that's a different story.
All right. It's about to get the crazy late night hour over here.
It's getting to the Gooner segment.
The Gooner segment, hour and 52. Man, I mean, this is probably the longest episode of the
I'm
season.
tired.
And yeah, Angel's already crying about the kids for tomorrow. So
I
we gotta
am,
put the school teacher out and about. But until then, y'all stay safe. Just stay in touch because more than likely we'll come back this week, like I mentioned, and the off season. I mean, after this postseason or during the postseason, we'll see. We'll do some things, but stay in touch. We'll be here still, giving all the content, giving all the breaking news.
I might just let y'all know I might opt for free agency, so don't be surprised y'all see me on ESPN one day.
Until then, y'all stay safe. Y'all have a blessed start. I mean, it's already Monday, but it's gonna be Tuesday here in just a second. Have a good week. And Anthony, can't say this on live podcast, but it's all right. It's all right. You got your first dub. That's all that matters. And it came from me because of Malik Neighbors being injured. So that's all I got to say. Till then, we'll talk to y'all soon.
Peace out. Y'all stay blessed.